All right, welcome back to the Countdown Fan Podcast. I am very excited to announce that we have a very special episode today, episode 8, featuring the Blue Jays. And we have 3 fans with us, 1 recurring and 2 very new fans. Please welcome Parker Tweedley, Azhar Khan, and Dante Tardino. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm so excited about this episode. We're talking Blue Jays, and just a background for everybody here, for who's listening on our podcasters today. Parker Tweedley, social media savant, a Toronto native whom I grew up with, and I first questioned his Toronto fandom when he did not know the words to the Canadian national anthem at Cooperstown when we were 12 years old. But hey, that was a long time ago. Can't put it past him now. Azhar Khan, host of the Be Legendary podcast, personal trainer, athlete, ultimate creator himself. We met a couple summers ago in Milwaukee playing for the Brooklyn Blue Sox. Shout out PT and everybody at that organization. And Dante Tardino, recurring Countdown guest, currently rehabbing Tommy John for his final year of college eligibility. Fellas, how have you been?
Good, dude, I'm feeling good. I'm hyped. I got a lot of hot takes, a lot of good stuff, so let's get into it.
I want to love my team again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a good start. Let's start it off with some love. I wanted to ask you guys first, can you describe your favorite Blue Jays memory and then maybe give us a little bit of background on your fandom? Azhar, let's start with you. Favorite Blue Jay memory? How are you?
I think it's pretty obvious for a lot of us. Say Game 5, Texas ALDS. Funny enough, I was there. Amazing atmosphere to be in and just watch. And then Bautista hit that bomb, and I definitely remember every feeling in my body just left, and I was just kind of jumping around. I don't remember how many other people I hugged other than my brother. But no, I think that was one of the greatest moments, I'd say, for me. I think for the city of Toronto, honestly, like that and like the Kawhi shot, to be honest, those are like the 2 only things that really, like, in this generation has happened to the city sports-wise. So, yeah, I'd have to say favorite Blue Jays moment for me is the bat flip.
I love it. Bat flip heard around the world. I forget if that's the right tagline for it.
We changed the culture, man.
Crazy. All right, flipping it over to Parker. What's your favorite Blue Jay moment or experience that you've witnessed or had?
Yeah, I mean, can't back up that experience. I mean, I have a very similar answer, but I guess to also differentiate, I'm a big defensive fan. I'll sit on YouTube and just watch like top plays and stuff, and I think one of my favorite players when he was playing was Kevin Pillar, and I think the catch that he had running up the wall against the Rays was so sick. I mean, he has compilations everywhere of diving catches, but that one was just unreal. And like that was in the conversation for top like robbed home runs, and like I remember watching that. I was just, oh my god, that's crazy. So yeah, I would definitely say that play specifically was just one that I always like remember when I think of like Blue Jays moments. And then of course the home run and our playoff runs and stuff. But that'd be one that I'm just like, yeah, that's awesome.
Love to hear it. Reminiscent of that Bo Jackson. It's like feels like he defied gravity running up the wall, catching those balls like that. Kevin Pillar reclassifying that, But Dante, what, as an outsider, because you're a recurring fan, obviously, for any recurring viewers, you were on our Dodgers episode where we were talking Dodgers. We had multiple episodes covering it because we had some big splashes early in the offseason. But what's your best Blue Jay memory or experience that you've witnessed as an outside fan?
Yeah, so pretty much I'm just here to keep Parker in check and make sure he doesn't say anything out of pocket. Once you told me that he was going on, I knew I had to come keep him in a rational sense of mind. I think for me, as an outside fan, I remember the Blue Jays were my T-ball team. So I used to love those the black unis, and I just remember guys like Vernon Wells and Lyle Overbay were like guys of interest to me.
Okay.
So yeah, but me as a Dodger fan, other than listening to Parker yap about it, I don't waste too much time focusing on the 4th best team in the AL East.
Wild.
Dang. I thought you were going to go somewhere completely different with that, but I'm glad you said what you said.
I thought he was going to say the Root Ned. Like, I totally thought he was just going to be like,
that's what I was going to bring up. That was mine.
That's what I thought.
All right, anyways. Maybe we'll pull up that video just for fun. That was my favorite Blue Jay moment. You kidding me? Jose Bautista gets blocked. Oh my gosh! Because he's supposed to be the big dog in that situation.
Knocked out in October.
Fair enough.
So brutal.
All right, fellas. Well, let's transition it. Let's get into the offseason. We won't spend too much time on 2024. Big year for the AL East. Blue Jays ended up at the bottom of the race. But they've already been making some moves. They let a few guys go. Their closer, who has been their guy for the last few years, obviously got a little shaky at the end. But Jordan Romano's out. They said he was going to cost too much. $7.7 million was too high of a price tag. They bring Swanson back to kind of fill out that bullpen. And they also bring in a new VP of Baseball Ops, David Bell. So what are your guys' first reactions to these moves and the first few shakeups with the teams before we get into those signings that we've seen so far? Park, let's start with you.
I don't really have anything too conclusive. It's just, we had a poor season. We keep going wild card races and losing, and just seems there's a big demoralization of our guys. No one wants to really there's not a lot of great team chemistry there. We had a lot. There was a lot of ups in terms of just we had a stretch of really high scoring games, and then we just can't produce runs at all. I'm not a big fan of our management because I also don't really trust exactly what we're doing. For example, I'm a big Vlad fan. I love Vlad, and he has said on numerous occasions that he wants to be in Toronto, and I don't have the utmost confidence that the management is going to keep him there. Again, we have our face players, all our Hall of Fame sons, basically, with Bichette and them. I just think they're all going to be transferred out, and I don't know what this rebuild's going to look like, but I hope it proves beneficial.
Yikes. Dante, any quick comments on that to reel Parker back in, or is that pretty spot on?
He did say transferred out. He's a soccer guy at heart, but transferred out is not a baseball term.
Wow. All right. I love it. Coming in hot already. But we could flip it over to you, Azhar, then. What's your kind of instant reaction? Quickly wrap up 2024 and the new moves.
Yeah, it's been a couple of definitely Parker kind of covered a lot of it, but just a bunch of really sad years, to be honest, to be a Blue Jays fan. Our, what's so-called boy band looks like they're about to break up in any minute with Biggio gone already, Bichette and Vlad. There's just truly no trust with our management. There isn't any. You don't know what's going to happen to Vlad, even though there hasn't really been an athlete in Toronto sports, now that I'm looking back, that said, hey, I want to be in Toronto, or had so much passion to be I want to be in Toronto. No athlete wants to be in Toronto, right? But this is one that actually has done a lot for our organization and continuously says he wants to be there, but with the way that management's running, and it's a bad look. It really is. We have $700 and something million to throw away at Juan Soto or Shohei. Let's break up the pot here and just start getting some better players.
Yeah, and speaking of using that $700 million, that's part of the reason why they brought in a guy like David Bell, former Reds manager, has had former player development roles with the Cubs and other franchises, but they brought him on, in quotes, to oversee the player development and physical and mental performance departments while also contributing to a strategic planning, player evaluations, and acquisitions. So it seems like he's going to be the frontline guy, their face that they're going to be throwing on a lot of their moves going forward. And to start it off, we had them bringing back Yimi Garcia. Dante, we might have some differing Dodger opinions on him. And then also Andres Gimenez, Cleveland second baseman, who seemed like, maybe all that's left of the second baseman market. So Azhar, let's start it off with you. What's your reaction to these two new signings?
Honestly, for me, I'm okay with it. It's just something I kind of expected out of the Blue Jays management as soon as we lost a guy like Juan Soto on the market. I was like, yeah, now we're going to go get a C-list, B-list-ish player, which exactly proved to happen. I definitely think changes in management need to happen even with David Bell, just coming in to our organization. But with Gimenez, we've always tried to be this defensive team, and then we show over and over and over again that we can't produce runs. So either or doesn't make sense. I would have probably looked to see a guy like Gio Urshela who can play multiple positions in the infield, pop in that spot, but it is what it is. It's pretty expected out of Blue Jays management.
Yeah, moving it over to you, Parker. What are you thinking of these new moves?
Yeah, I remember the minute it happened, Dante was texting me, Gold Glover coming, so... it's cool. There's again kind of the same way. It's just I guess kind of expected, but I kind of wish we could see some more some bigger offseason moves. I know the Rule 5 draft happened and we got Bastardo as well, but I don't know how much. I mean, his minor league stats aren't that great. He just came off Tommy John, and like I don't see much purpose of him either. So like, I don't know. The expectations are literally just what I. Again, there's not much going on with these offseason moves. I'm not really like that thrilled with them. I don't know if this is like a lead up to anything else or like what we're trying to do. Like, I would love to know a game plan, but it just kind of seems like we're setting up to keep losing players. So we'll see.
Dante, any quick reactions? Are you more optimistic on this new move from the Jays, or are you kind of sitting here with the Jays fans down low on Andres Gimenez?
No, I actually kind of like Andres Gimenez. You know, he's a former top prospect, and obviously the 3 Gold Gloves in 3 years is pretty impressive. Pretty much every year that he's played a full season. I liked Horowitz. I liked the at-bats last year, but the one thing I was surprised about, you know, because he hasn't been up very long, is he is 27, so it's not like a big difference in age. So I really think you're taking a chance on a guy that was a top prospect and they thought he could swing it, you know, and maybe he can figure it out in a different ballpark and a different lineup. I mean, it wasn't terrible last year, but it isn't what, you know, they thought it was going to be.
Yeah, well, not terrible is strong, Dante. I mean, yeah, he had a 4 WAR, but a lot of that was coming from the defensive side. The hitting stats were not great. 252 batting average, 638 OPS, so well below league average. The one year you can look back on and say, hey, this is the guy we want, is 2022, where he actually finished 6th in the AL MVP voting, won a Gold Glove as an All-Star, had 17 homers, and one thing I always love looking up is hard hit percentage, because I think that is a great sign of how a hitter's doing. It doesn't classify all hitters, because don't get me wrong, there's the Luis Arias of baseball. But 8th percentile in hard hit rate, dead bottom of the league. All the percentiles and stats are only up in 2022, so it almost makes it kind of seem like a fluke to me. But like you, Dante, he passes the eye test for me, looks great in the field. To me, puts up competitive at-bats. I know we saw the whole Guardians team struggle as a whole in the playoffs against that Yankees pitching staff. But, you know, sometimes the eye test is all right for me. It's a tough spot for Blue Jays fans, but I think this is a high-risk, high-reward signing, because you could look back on it in a few years and say, man, why did we give this money to a second baseman who's a fielder? Or, who knows, could turn out for the best. But I think that gets us into our next segment, fellas, our free agent wish list. It's around the holidays. This, I believe, is going to be our closest episode releasing to Christmas. So, you know, this has been a recurring segment. But I want you guys to tell us which Blue Jays are on your offseason wish list and who you think is going to help them get to the next stage for next year. So, Azhar, let's start it off with you. Who's your first guy? And we'll come back around. So you
First guy, I think I kind of like said it a little earlier than I should, but I do want to see Gio Urshela back with the Jays. Like, I think it's just it's not a, you know, big fish by any means. I just think it's something that, with a lot of holes in our lineup, it's something that can be plugged in, especially with our infield. That Gio can play a few positions, and he actually was with us for a little bit. And he's just made a lot more headway, a lot more noise with the teams that he's played for afterwards. So I'd like to see him pop back in. I know it's not a big fish, but it's just something little that I feel like can help us down the stretch.
I like it. Every team needs those moves and those guys who are going to make impacts that you don't necessarily expect at the beginning of the year. So let's move it over to you, Dante, before we get to the other Blue Jay fan who's joining us today. But Dante, who's one guy you want to see in Toronto as an outside fan?
Yeah, so looking at their holes, to me it looks like, you know, it's outfield and then potentially at third, even though I like Ernie Clement. It's Jerks and Profar for me. He's a position player, and I know he's on a lot of lists. You know, he's got a good bat. He fills the holes in the outfield and third. He's coming off a fantastic year, so you might have to, you know, pay him a little bit more than you like, but gives him versatility is like a big thing, and a switch hitting bat is a big thing.
Yeah, I'll hop on that before we get to you, Parker, because Profar was one of the guys I had on my list. I love my switch hitters. I've said it before on the pod. Just such a versatile aspect to bring to a lineup, and especially the Blue Jays. You know, I feel like one of the reasons they traded away, you know, some of their big outfielders and ended up with Dalton Varsho is because they thought they needed left-handed bats, and it almost seemed like that was kind of a tough reason to go out and make a trade as big as they did. So bringing in a guy like Profar eliminates a lot of that aspect. You don't have to worry about him losing any value from either side of the dish. But Parker, let's move it over to you. Who's your first guy on that free agent wish list?
Well, I guess I'll I'll preface some stuff because I like the cold takes. I like being a little little bigger with this. Well, first I will say, I think the Jays need bigger names. I think you have to think of the Jays as a business as well. Like, if they're going to lose big names, they're going to need to gain them. If they're going to want a fan, they want tickets, they're going to need to continue revenue. So I think big names are going to be something that's going to be a main asset to them. I personally like our fielding. Like, I think Davis Schneider should be getting more, play time. I loved him coming off the bench sometimes. I think, like, he was actually sick. That mustache is awesome. And I think there was a lot to him. But when it comes to free agency, I think we need pitching. I'm kind of a Jack Flaherty guy. I really like him. And I think that, I think he actually could be a really good signing for the Jays. I think he's got a name for himself. And I think he would actually be a really good Arsenal player to have. But overall, I guess to stick to my main point, if there are any big names I guess trade-wise that we could get, I think that would be kind of like a main asset. Get some more faces around there. But I guess that would be my overall take.
Yeah, the trade market's heating up too. We just saw Kyle Tucker get moved. Cody Bellinger's been rumored around. I would love the Blue Jays to come in as a dark horse for a Cody Bellinger potential trade. I think that would be awesome
that would be great.
Cody would be sick.
Yeah, especially just to keep him off the Yankees. Come on now. But
Right.
let's move it back around. Let's go around one more time. AK, who's your next guy that you're trying to throw out on this
Bring
offseason
back
wish list?
Teo. Bring back
Yes!
Teoscar Hernandez.
Yes!
Bring,
Dante
please,
doesn't
for the
like
love
that.
of God. We absolutely gave him for nothing, to Seattle. Straight up nothing. Bring him back. We need bats. I get he's not as stronger as, outfield names that have been listed, but at this point in time, we need our power bats back of what we were known for in 2015, 16, 17, going on, when we used to just mash. And that used to win us a whole lot of ball games. So bring back Teo.
I love it. I mean, it's hard to say that as a Dodger fan. I mean,
Sorry, bro.
It just seems like a good fit. I know Dante's got a bad reaction to that, but to me at this point, if I'm being more realistic about the Dodgers, I don't know if Teo's their first priority. I know he's on the list, but it just seems like he's slowly fading away as this offseason gets later and later to another team. But Dante, what do you think about that, and what are your hopes for Teo this offseason?
Well, Teo's my guy on the Dodgers, and nothing would be okay, the only thing that would make me happier is if we didn't bring him back, if we somehow didn't bring him back, it's going to be a lot of money, is that he gets paid by the Blue Jays and then just shits the bed for them, just to see Parker be miserable. I would just love it. I mean, I don't want to wish bad on Teo. Maybe he plays one of his 10-year contract, hopefully, or something like that,
Oh,
I mean, that was a little mean to Teo, but it was more about the sentiment towards Parker.
Well, with that being said, Parker, who's the next guy on your list? And
So much shade just for him. I just got to go through the emotions here for a second. I'm actually going to agree on the bring back kind of wave. I'm a little done with Daddy Kirk. I'm not. This big boy is I don't know what he's doing. I'm not the biggest fan. I also am severely pissed that we got rid of Danny Jansen. I was a big Danny Jansen fan. I thought he was lit. I thought it was sick. The whole played the same game, historic game. I thought that was cool, the whole Red Sox thing. But yeah. I love Danny Jansen. I don't know why it sucks that he had to go. But I would love him back. I think he's great. And again, Alejandro Kirk should not be our catcher. But in terms of crazy takes that no one's gonna ever agree with, because you need to have one of them, I say this guy needs a rebranding. No one's gonna want him on the Blue Jays, but we go for Dante. Mike Trout. Yes.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say Trevor Bauer.
Mike Trout.
Rebranding.
No, because Mike Trout is on a failing team. He needs a new thing. Might as well get an entire country on him rather than just a new city. He can be the face of a whole country, and he can rebound with an awesome team.
Go, Dante.
I need your opinion.
You said he's on a failing team and he's going to go to another failing team?
Bro, if he
No,
comes,
no.
we're going to the chip.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the chip, so he needs to come with us to do it.
Also, I didn't make this remark earlier, but Parker, you said I want the superstar names, and then proceeded to talk about Davis Schneider. I was really
he's a superstar in my head. He's a superstar in my head. Any guy with that mustache is a superstar.
And you also said superstar, and now you want Danny Jansen back, a guy that platooned with Kirk.
No, Danny Jansen's lit.
No, I wouldn't say all that.
Come on. Okay, but let me go back to Mike Trout for a second.
Okay, there you go.
Toronto benefits of a star player coming to their team. We saw Kawhi Leonard. That happened. It's going to be the same exact thing with Trout, and he's going to take us the ship, and then he'll leave. That's fine, but we need him for
giving up? Who are we giving up?
No one.
Everyone. That was
Sell the country.
Yeah. What a great tagline that clip is going to be. Is Mike Trout going to pull a Kawhi Leonard? I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yep, it's happening.
Kawhi waiting for that three-pointer to go in.
Oh, hey man, we talked about it on the Angels episode. I would love to see Mike Trout allow the Angels to shop him around, because I think I can definitively say in 10 years we're going to look back and say Mike Trout's career may have been completely wasted in Anaheim. But hey, moving it on for the free agents, I just had a few more names I wanted to throw out there. Anthony Santander was that switch-hitting outfielder that I wanted to mention, because he just seems like people kind of got low on him, and now his stock's rising back up again because of the other moves that have been made this offseason and where guys have been getting paid. Dante, you and I have talked about this before. I think whoever's paying for him might be paying for a DH, but he is younger than a lot of guys think. And I mean, the switch-hitting bat is obviously the first thing on the top of the list. So Dante, what are you thinking about that? Or any other moves that I know you saw your finger up, Mr. Sketch.
Yeah. No, I like that move a lot. I think the switching bat power. Maybe you can slip him in the outfield. You saw those assist numbers. It was kind of good, but maybe I thought he was a better defender than he is. A guy I had, he's a sneaky guy, Patrick Sandoval. He's coming off 2 down years, You might be able to get him on a discount, The rotation is probably Gosman, Barrios, Francis, and Bassett, right? So you take a chance on a 28-year-old lefty who has had success in the past, and you kind of get. It's all righties in the rotation right now. So you throw in a lefty. I think he's still got some. Obviously he's with the Angels, so it might be tough there.
I love that move. A guy I wrote down on my list was Sean Manaea, but I think he might be at too high of a price tag coming off of this last postseason run and just whole season with the Mets. So I don't know if that's the kind of level of player that the Blue Jays would go for in their rotation, but it would be a really nice snag. But AK, Parker, any other guys you want to throw out there for this offseason wish list before we get moving on to trivia?
If we're going to go into takes, I personally don't think it's going to happen by any means. I think Vlad finally is slimmed down and still working on staying slim. I move him back over to third, and let's land a Pete Alonso here.
Nice.
Hey, I love that.
Let's land
That's
a
great.
Pete Alonso.
Thinking.
He hits tanks when he does. And it's still, even though we renovated, it's still a smaller ballpark. You're in the AL East with a lot of other smaller ballparks. Let's land a Pete Alonso. Let's move Vladdy to third. If Vladdy needs an off day, he'll DH, and Ernie Clement stays there as of what we have. And we kind of have something there.
I love it. I love that move. Definitely thinking outside the box with moving some positions around, and I wasn't seeing that coming. So, Parker, anything lastly you want to throw out there for the off-season wish list segment?
Actually, going back to what you were saying, I would love Santander. I think also stealing anyone from the Orioles would be kind of awesome. Taking from their own division, I think that would be just a statement. Especially the Orioles just always have these young prospect guys that just keep emerging through their system. So it'd be cool to have one of those. Also, to respond to Dante, we can get Sandoval and Trout in the same deal. So just letting you know that's on the.
Yeah, that's funny. And wow. Parker, you brought up the farm system, so I wanted to quickly point out why I'm wearing this hat today. It's the Tennessee Smokies hat. They're currently a Cubs affiliate, but I didn't have any other Blue Jay gear, and they were formerly a Blue Jays affiliate. And they got sweet colors. Come on. But fellas, I'm excited. This is moving us on to our trivia segment. Blue Jay, buff, or bandwagon. We've ran this challenge before, just once on the debut episode of the Countdown. So flashing it back, if anybody who's listening or watching hasn't seen it, go back to the first episode. Go watch that buff or bandwagon challenge. But today, fellas, here's how it's going to work. 4 levels. They're going to consist Level 1, 2024. Level 2, famous Blue Jays. Level 3, pop culture. Level 4, history. And listen up, because here are the rules. There aren't many of them, but here's what we got. Each correct answer is worth a point, labeled with the round. So round 1, 1 point. Round 2, 2 points, etc. And fellas, we're not doing any steal the questions right now. We might run it back for fun. But you get 1 hint. 1 hint per challenge. So you can save it. I'll give it to you whenever you want. I have hints prepared for all of them. So, with that being said, Anybody except Dante, who would like to take the first question in level 1 for 2021?
Let's go.
I'm not seeing any
Let's
hands
do it.
raised. So, Parker, we're going to start with you.
Gosh.
Dante, I'm singling you out. You're going last every single time, buddy.
I'm putting up a donut. I hope you realize. I crack under pressure.
So,
let's do it.
Parker, your first question, and I'm holding you guys to the fact that you're not looking anything up on your computers because I'm not watching you guys. We're not over the school, peeking over your shoulder type of deal. We're fine. All right,
All of us.
Parker, question number 1 in level 1 of the category of 2024. Parker, with the exception of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who played the most games for the Blue Jays in 2024? And this is a multiple choice, so I'll give you some options. You have A, your guy Davis Schneider, B, George Springer, C, Dalton Varsho, or D, Bo Bichette. So I can run the answers back for you. I am starting a shot clock on my phone that you will not see until I start counting.
I mean, I'm between Springer and Varsho.
I'd say that's a good 2 to narrow it down to.
Yeah, I know it's not any of the other two.
Is that the
but-
hint?
No, I'm just telling you. I know it's.
I could have been a secret hint layered into the words there if you're really thinking hard. But you would have had to been listening.
Couple.
We're gonna go ahead and
I
give
want to
it 5
lock in.
more
I'm gonna lock
seconds.
in. I'm gonna lock in Varsho.
Dalton Varsho locked in is the wrong answer. And Dante didn't see it coming.
Now, was Springer
Dalton
really for-
Varsho played a total of 130 games, and the correct answer was yes. B, George Springer, who played 145 games, the most by 10 games. The runner-up would have been your boy Davis Schneider at 135. So yes, no points for Parker upsetting there in the first round.
Wow.
That's actually crazy.
Unfortunate. Yeah, no, you know what? A little bit harder of a level 1 question than I anticipated because it was.
Wait, are we saying wow to me getting this wrong, or is this like a wow to the answer? Because I just want to make sure I'm not being.
No,
I think that's
I'm
a wow to the
allowed
answer.
to the answer.
Okay, good.
Answer.
I didn't want to make it seem like I was.
Oh my God.
No, it's not on you, dog. Like,
All right.
wow, that I would have got it wrong too.
Oh my God, Parker, you're
Hopefully
so
that's not setting
sensitive.
the pace. Hopefully that's not setting the pace for the rest of the show. But Azhar, you're getting our second question. Just
Okay.
gave Parker a hitting question. We're moving it over to the pitching side for you. Who led the 2024 Blue Jays pitching staff in innings pitched? And there were only really 3 eligible names for this, so I'm giving you 3 multiple choice selections. There's A, Chris Bassett, B, Jose Barrios, or C, Kevin Gausman. Shot
Right.
clock has started.
I know Barrios had like a couple of really good stretches. Like, he had a lot of promise, and really had a good year. Gosman, he still pitched his games, even though a lot of them weren't great. I'm not even ruling our other option of was it Bassett was our first option?
Bassett, Barrios, or Gausman?
Yeah, Bassett's not even in the question. I just don't think he holds it down that well. I'm gonna go Barrios.
Barrios locked in right at the final second of the shot clock. That is the correct answer. Jose Barrios did pitch the most innings for the 2024 Blue Jays at 192.1. The next closest was Gausman at 181, and Bassett wasn't too far behind at 171. So a solid year from the top 3 of the Blue Jays staff right there. So yeah, if they were able to add another dog onto that staff, pretty nice. So Dante, your 2024 Blue Jays question. Are you ready, my friend?
Wait, so the segment's called Bandwagon or...
Buff or bandwagon, yes. So what do
Okay,
you think
what about
you are, Dante?
Buff, Bandwagon, or Hater? Can we add
Or
that
hater,
into
all
it
right.
for this?
I like
Okay.
it. Bang, stamping on
Let's
the
go.
end. All right, Dante, who led the 2024 Blue Jays in stolen bases? A, Dalton Varsho, B, Davis Schneider, C, Bo Bichette, or D, George Springer?
Okay, what were my options again?
Varsho, Schneider, Bichette, Springer.
Gosh,
Stolen
I feel like
bases.
I feel like none of them stole like even 20 bags.
You might be right.
Oh, see, that's gonna make it tough here. Okay. I think it's between.
We got our shot clock on 5, 4.
All right, give me Springer. I'll take
Springer is the correct answer. We have 2 correct answers in this first round, and Parker is unfortunately falling behind early. But don't worry,
How many
Parker.
was Springer?
Springer had 16 stolen bases. The next closest was Dalton Varsho at 10. Nobody else had over double digits. So it was a tough one. You found your way there, though. But that moves us
The
on to
most
level
stolen
2.
bases on the team that I like was over 50, by the way.
All right. Well, it's a good year to brag if you're a Dodger fan, I will admit. But level 2, famous Blue Jays. Dante turns his hat around. All right. Famous Blue Jays. Azhar, we're going to get this round started with you. So, this Blue Jay was on the cover of MLB The Show 16. Was it option A, Jose Bautista, option B, Josh Donaldson, or option C, Marcus Stroman?
Josh Donaldson.
Josh Donaldson is the correct answer. No hesitation, or at least I didn't hear any. But Josh Donaldson was the correct answer on the cover of MLB The Show 16. I'm seeing some head fakes. What you guys didn't like the answer to that one?
2 points for that?
Question.
All right. Well, you
they're
haven't heard
complaining
your
about the point
question yet,
system.
Dante.
Layup.
All right.
Layup.
Parker, moving it on.
My first
Sorry
question.
if I made
Parker
round
could have
one
got
harder than
that.
round
That's
two.
how easy it was.
I have it.
Well, then I think my next question might surprise you. Parker, this Blue Jay was on the cover of MLB The Show 13. Was it A, Josh Donaldson,
Oh,
B, Jose Bautista, or C, Roy Halladay? And he's thinking.
I'm pretty sure.
2013.
I mean, obviously it's not Donaldson. Between the two
He's
of them.
he's looking around the room for the game. Just
Gotta find it somewhere. I mean, I could totally be choking, and it's Roy, but I'm gonna say Bautista.
it is Jose Bautista. He was on the
Yeah,
cover of
I was
MLB The
like,
Show
wait,
13.
okay.
See there, Dante? See how that wasn't quite a layup for him? I can
It
tell.
was almost a trick up because Holiday was on the cover of 2K. Do you remember
I
that?
know. I do remember that.
Yeah.
And
But
every
That was a
so-
good-
It was Phillies.
I don't think Parker knew that.
I wouldn't have
Dante.
debated if I didn't think it was on something.
It was Phillies.
Dante,
Roy Halladay, if
you
anything.
don't get
Yeah.
any multiple choice questions for this. Answers. You're just getting the question: which Blue Jay
Hater.
was featured on the cover of MLB The Show 18?
$18?
There is a little bit of an asterisk to this. If you want your hint, that would be your hint.
So I have a feeling that it's then a guy that was only there for a little bit.
You're not getting any
Okay, give it to me.
reaction or read into that.
Give it to me.
You're, not,
Give me
you're
the
giving
hint.
up, or you want the hint? Okay, so Dante is cashing in his hint. The hint is that the cover was actually the Canadian cover of MLB The Show 18 this year. Basically, the
What a
only
hint.
year that they did this, which is
I love that
basically
hint.
just telling you it had to be a
I
Blue Jay.
love that hint. That's such a great hint.
Such a good hint, 'cause it
2018,
does not
the
convert.
Canadian
Because it
cover
does
of
not
MLB
help.
The Show, which Blue Jay was on it?
Oh, give me Stroman.
Marcus Stroman, bang! That is the correct
Yeah.
answer. What a
Yeah,
pull!
it could
He
only
found
be
it.
one.
He found
Oh
it
my
in the bag. I had multiple choice laid out for that, but after the first 2 questions, there's just no way if I had put any 3 names out there, you would have automatically known it was Stroman. So that is sweet.
Yeah.
We got a couple of guys grabbing
were the other
both
2
questions in the
names?
first 2 rounds. The other 2 names I would have said if I threw it out there would have been Vlad Jr. and Donaldson for 18, because it's tough. I mean, like the crossover between the players that it could have been were really everybody I threw out there on that. Like Azhar, all 3 options that were on your question were on a cover at some point, so that's why that was a little bit of
Yeah.
a tougher question, I thought. So,
Yeah.
moving it on to round 3, we got Azhar and Dante up in the lead and Parker closely behind. But guys, level 3 is a fun one for me because it's the pop culture round. And that could mean anything. Last time on the Yankees podcast, we tried to figure out which Yankee could name more of Derek Jeter's past girlfriends. Sam won in a landslide. Owen had not done his research, apparently. But fellas, for our pop culture round, Parker, you're going to get us started off. Here is your question. And this question,
Is it
again, is
multiple
worth
choice?
3 points. This is not a multiple choice round. No. Everyone, you're just
Oh,
going to
that
get
would
the
be-
question, and you're going to have to go deep into that bag. So, Parker, Marcus Stroman attended Duke University where he developed a relationship with this currently well-known artist/rapper?
Developed a relationship as in like...
As in friends, it's not a woman.
Just rip it off top of the dome. Let's go.
Who do you think
Drake.
it is, Parker? That is false. Drake did not attend Duke University at the same time as Marcus Stroman or attend Duke University at all. So that would be a big part of the question. And I
thought we were talking about the Canadian rapper. That's on me. Was not locked in.
Oh, wow.
You just have to convince Parker not to
brutal
think, and
whiff.
he makes bad decisions.
A brutal whiff there.
He's like,
Parker, we are laughing at you now.
Yeah,
Okay, Dante, you pushed him into a premature answer there. If I run it back,
Okay,
we're gonna say, hey, rip it, give it to him, like he knew, like you were plumping him up like he knew the answer. So
I don't think I was gonna get.
Let him do it again, though. I would love to hear another answer from him.
do you have
It was
another
gonna-
guess, Parker? I'm pretty sure Azhar knows the answer, or maybe even Dante. I think both. I didn't give it to Azhar because I figured he would definitely know the answer.
Okay, I don't know it. I got nothing.
All right, well, either Dante or Azhar, you want to chime in? Do either of you know the answer?
Mike, baby.
Mike, yes it is. Mike with a little period at the end. So Parker,
Mike.
maybe go look up
Yeah,
his
just Mike
music.
like
Mike, I know, yeah, it is just Mike now, huh? Great last new album though, if you haven't heard it. So go back, check his
Yeah,
stuff
the
out.
lows.
It's great.
Banger.
Yes, but Azhar, that moves
Tough
us
rap.
on to your question. We're keeping it in the music realm. So your question is this: Drake used a picture of Joe Carter's 1993 World Series winning home run as a cover for a solo track named what?
Back to back.
Bang! That is the correct answer. Back to Back was the song Drake used the 1993 World Series Joe Carter home run on. And do you know why he did it? A little added bonus.
I think it was his second diss track to Meek Mill where he absolutely slaughtered him, pretty much. And I think that's why. I don't know as if maybe that's the why, but it just gives to me that's why it was.
So it's a multi-layer. That is one of them, but the other reason was because Joe Carter and the Blue Jays beat the Phillies in that offseason, and Meek Mill. big Philly
That's
guy.
true. Damn, that's
So,
true. Damn, I
It's
forgot
just,
Meek Mill.
it's a multi-layered diss. Nobody does it like Drake, except unless if you want to throw Kendrick in that conversation. But since we're talking about the Blue Jays today, we're not going to bring that stuff up. So
Yeah,
Dante,
I don't want to deal with this.
moving it on, to try to keep you in the race here, you're going to have to keep up with Azhar. Here is your pop culture question. Which Friends actor was very outwardly known as a very big Blue Jays fan?
Okay. I got like 6 options, right?
All right, well, that automatically tells me that you've seen the show before, so that's a good sign.
I know. I couldn't come
And- and
close to telling you anything
Character
about the
names,
last
character names, or real names would apply if you know the answer.
Okay, I'm going to go sexist here. I'm going to narrow it down to the men.
All right, that is
Okay,
a fair assumption.
Okay.
Or unfair.
Parker's worried. I'm
We're
going to
down
have to
to
give you a
2.
shot clock of 10 seconds counting down now.
All right.
Just Dante, just send it. Come on, right now. Bang.
Rest in
Rip
peace,
it.
Matthew Perry.
Okay, Dante.
Matthew Perry, bang, is the correct answer. And
Ooh.
Dante is destroying the Blue
Crazy to bring
Jays
him up.
trivia contest right now.
Crazy to bring him
And
up.
oh, Parker wanted to use that line. He was waiting for it. That was the one question I told him about pre-show. So, yes, Chandler banged Matthew Perry, very big Blue Jays fan. If you just look it up, it was an easy one to look up. If you look up Blue Jays pop culture, it's really the first thing that comes up is that he always had a Blue Jays hat around him on his desk in his office, somewhere near. He was keeping that Blue Jays fandom alive. But guys, that looks like Dante and AK are all tied up going into level 4, technically our last round. But Parker, this
Great job,
round's worth
guys.
4 points, which technically keeps you in it because I'm going to give you a little bonus added point because Dante's so pissed off, and I just know this would fuel the fire because I know Dante's not quite getting this question right. So Dante, we're going to lead it off with you to put the pressure then on our Blue Jays fans because you are our wild card here. So starting it off with our history round, this question is worth 4 points. Who was on base? And you need to name both players when Joe Carter hit his World Series winning home run in 1993. I'll give you a hint, too, since you already used it, because this might help you, or it might not. Both players were eventual Hall of Famers.
Okay. Give me Dave Winfield.
Is that one of your final answers? You got to give me both at the same time.
I'm thinking of locking in Dave Winfield and Roberto Alomar because that's the only 2 Hall of Famers I can think about. Give me a second.
I'll give you 5.
Okay. Yeah, fine. Send it with those guys.
I mean, just an awesome 0 for 2 there.
And both of them are 0 for 2. I'm not sure if Parker looked up the question or if he knew previously, because I did not tell him about it, but it was Ricky Henderson and Paul Molitor. Those were the 2 Blue Jays on base when Joe Carter hit his World Series winning home run back in 1993. So, Dante, you are finishing with a total of, I believe, 6 points, if I'm correct? 6 points in the first 3 rounds?
You have won.
All right. And some smack talk starting already. But, Azhar, we'll move it over to you there. And I have 2 questions left, and I believe both of them are very difficult. So I'm not sure if either of these are going to be answered, but I'll throw this one at you, Azhar. When did the Blue Jays join the major leagues? What year? I'm looking for a year. What year did the Blue Jays organization join the major leagues? What's your best guess?
Oh, God. Can I use my hint? I have a hint remaining.
You can use your hint.
Give him the century.
No, bro. That's not.
Your hint is that it was pre-1985, and the fact that the Blue Jays finished very dead last in the East in their very first 5 seasons.
Well, that's helpful.
So
Sounds about right.
it's a tough hint, I know, but there's not much I can give
God.
away that wouldn't give you the straight.
Oh, my God.
So, pre-1985.
It was the first game ever at our stadium snowed. At Exhibition Stadium, it snowed. It was a snow game. But, golly.
When did snow?
I remember this. The first game at Exhibition Stadium snowed.
All right, I'm counting you
Was
down
it
from 10.
79?
Is that your final
79.
answer? 79
Sure.
is not correct. You were just 2 years off, though. 1977 was the year that we were looking for. Is the year
77.
that the Blue Jays first joined the major leagues. So a very niche trivia question there. I'm sorry I had to put you through that, but that was when the Blue Jays joined the major leagues. There's your little education for the day. But Parker, here's your question.
I can get the dub here.
You could get a tie, I'll call it. I'll give you 1 bonus point to tie Azhar,
can't
and
even-
I'll give you an extra question.
Holy
Shut
math,
up,
bro.
shut up, Blue Jay hater.
Wait, how many
Shut
points
up,
they
Blue
have?
Jay hater.
Well, how many
He's
points they
got
have?
he's got 1 point. Azhar's got. Oh, never mind. He doesn't even need an extra point. You're right. Dante's great when you're needing a quick math guy at the end. But Parker, here's your question: the Blue Jays' first retired number was the number 12. Who wore that number for the Blue Jays?
I'm not built like this, by the way, but I'm gonna use my hint because I have it.
Your hint.
What kind of question
was
is that?
I'm not good with this
It's
stuff.
it's a
That's a
question
buff.
tailored to Parker right there, AK. Your
Okay,
hint.
fair.
This
I just don't
player
know how to
played
think.
5 seasons with the Toronto Blue Jays, and in 3 of them he was top 6 in MVP.
He's not gonna get it.
I won't get it, but I'm gonna try and guess something.
Oh,
Let it rip. Let it
Bro,
rip.
are you actually serious?
look.
This one is you.
you
but
can
are
you
actually
can sing the
serious?
Canadian national anthem for bonus points as well. If you
No,
get it.
I just don't. I'm not built like history like
We
that.
also mentioned 4 Hall of Famers before, so if you can't think of any Hall of Famers,
Well, I know. I just don't know if it's one of those 4.
All right,
One of
well
those
you're gonna
boys.
have to lock in an answer in 10, 9.
I don't know. It's like Paul Molitor.
That is false. The correct answer was AK. Do you want to give it to me? It seems like it's on the tip of your tongue.
Robbie Alomar, fella.
Oh, yeah.
Robbie Alomar is the correct
I would've
name
gotten
that we were
it.
looking for there.
I can
Parker.
tie it here.
I got it.
Dante, you already got your question, so that means AK.
No, I'm talking about
Azhar.
Parker saying that.
Oh, that is facts.
Yeah.
But hey, Azhar, congratulations. You are the
That's already
champion
got one.
of Blue Jay Buff or Bandwagon. And now that we have 2 winners, who knows? Maybe there's a challenge I can set you up with our Yankees winner, and we'll have to go head-to-head in some sort of trivia showdown.
I can
who
only
knows, fellas?
imagine that trivia being really tough. Like,
It would be tough for sure. I can get deep into the bag, and we can really make you guys do your research first. But thank you for playing with us today, fellas. That pretty much wraps up the episode. But to close it out, I like giving all of our fans the chance to give us one hot take or just any chance to rant about the team. So, Azhar, let's start with you. You are our winner. Start us off. What's the last kind of outro you want to leave with?
So we actually said this a little bit before, but I truly believe that this team is a high school drama show where there's makeups and breakups and everything in between. Because there is no trust in our management. There is none. There is zero. As a Blue Jays fan, it's depressing as a time. As much as we love our team and the new stadium, which absolutely rocks. So, Connor, when you do come out here, please do and let me know. But good God, to be a Blue Jays fan is a tough time. The management's awful. I think we need a cleared house in terms of front office. I don't think it's a hot take. I think it's something everyone knows. Re-sign Vlad immediately. And yeah, hopefully we have people who are educated enough to make decisions that will make the team a better spot.
Totally agree. Moving it over to our other Blue Jay fan, Parker, do you have any hot takes or any Blue Jays players or anything Blue Jays related you'd like to close us out on?
I'm gonna remain optimistic here. You know, we've always said the bad, and somehow, some way, because I said all this today, they're gonna surprise me and do well. I think we're gonna stupidly keep Bo Bichette, and he's somehow gonna get like second or third in the most hits in the league, and he's gonna just absolutely turn it on 2025, and he's gonna prove us all wrong, because that's what I'm praying for. But,
I kind of agree with you. I kind of agree with you.
He can do it.
He can. He can.
He's gonna turn it on, and we're gonna see some crazy success. I think we're gonna pull up some minor leaguers. Like it's something's gonna work out, and it's gonna be a good season. I'm predicting high optimism, second in the AL East, low third. That's where I'm putting us.
You lost me there.
You gotta be
So
optimistic.
we lost AK. Dante, give us our quick. I know you said fourth best team in the East. What's your prediction for the Blue Jays at the end of 2024? 5.
Yeah, it's funny that you brought up Bichette turning it around, because here are my notes I wrote. Bo Bichette is gone before the end of the year. so maybe he gets the most hits, but it's on a different team.
Yeah, hater take there. Hater take. Hater take.
Yeah, pretty much if I'm a Blue Jays fan, I'm just spending the next 5 years, grab some lotion, don't watch live games, and you just watch Joey Bats and Ed Encarnacion highlights. Just don't even watch live games.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I've actually been doing that recently.
You and
Oh my
Parker
gosh,
should
well-
set up a Zoom call.
All right, well, I think that's where we could end our episode, fellas. That was awesome. Thank you guys for coming on and talking Blue Jays with us. Lastly, oh my gosh, that totally threw me off. Throw your socials out there. Where can we go give you a follow? Parker and Dante, I'll go to you guys first because Azhar, I know you got plenty of stuff going on. But Parker, Dante, where can our followers find you if they want to go hit you with a follow?
At P Tweedley. You'll put it on the screen. Follow the main.
Bang. Dante, what about you? Where can we go see your 2025 Tommy John rehab journey?
It's just on my name, at Dante Tardino.
All right. And then AK, where can these people tune into your podcast as well? Because our boy Azhar, our champion of the Trivia Challenge.
We got the main. Akon with 3 N 16. But you can always check out all the fire that we got on Legend. It's LGND by AK. You'll find a lot of my fitness stuff, my personal training content, as well as the podcast that I'm doing. Hopefully, I'm gonna assume that you're gonna hop on mine. We're gonna talk, we're gonna chat about our good times in Milwaukee, etc.
Yes, sir.
But yeah,
Sure.
it's
Anytime.
Be Legendary on Spotify, Apple Music. So check it out when you guys have some time.
All right. And with that
Hey,
being
Connor.
said, that concludes the countdown. Oh, unless Parker, one more thing.
I was just going to say one more thing. Greatest signing of 2024, Joey Votto. I mean, Canadian legend. Can we just give it up for him? I mean, just like, love that. Just wanted to
That's
put it
for
out there.
Votto and the end of his career. Love
Thank
him.
you.
I hope to see him in some sort of media setting in baseball in the future because he's super
Oh, that'd be great.
entertaining.
Get him on the pod.
Yes, get him on the pod. Anybody else who wants to come on the pod, that's a great note. DM us on Instagram if you want to be the fan that represents your team on the countdown. Reach out to us. We're down to run up these episodes anytime. But with that being said, that is the end of the countdown. Thank you guys for counting down with us. Always count down every single day till MLB opening day 2025. So make sure you like and subscribe to join us next time, and we'll see you then.